Yo, what is going on, everybody? Hello, welcome back to another episode of Commix. This is episode 5 already, which is interesting enough. Because man, we didn't know what episode we were on. But anyway, I'm one of your hosts. My name is Frank, aka Technique, and this is Matt. How you doing, Matt?
Good afternoon, man. I'm doing well. Lovely Saturday. We got a lot of fun things to talk about here, so I'm ready, my man. I'm ready. It's a good day. It's a good day.
It's a good day. It's a bad day for audio for me. It's a good day. I had to switch between 3 mics, if you guys don't know, while we were late.
I felt so bad. You just see him
have
playing
very expensive mics.
Microphones.
It's so annoying, dude. $2,000 mic here. I don't know how much, $1,500 mic here. And then, I have a slew of mics next to me, and just having audio issues. But
he's a collector of mics, like statues.
Yep. So there you go, guys. It doesn't matter how much you spend on the mic; they're all shit. Getting into that,
we're off. Let's go.
Yeah. So today's show is gonna be interesting. We are, and if I'm peaking or something, guys, let me know if I'm super loud or whatever. I can tune myself. Just let me know, because like I said, dealing with audio issues. So this week we wanted to focus on Loki because, I mean, that's the big hottest that's coming up, and something that we really are excited about.
5 days away. We are 5 days away. It's been, What is it? Since Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, was the 29th or something like that of April. So we've gone over a month now without having new Jupiter Ascending. That's a whole nother conversation. Well, with Marvel and DC, we've really had nothing new out there, right? Yeah, we've had Invincible, we've had Jupiter Ascending, but when you talk about the MCU or DC, the main two, we really haven't had anything. So starting, in which we'll talk about a little bit, right? Like starting next Wednesday, we're in a race to the end of the year with TV shows, with movies, presumably video games, and much more leading us up to the end of the year. So the next 6 months of shows are going to be fun.
Yeah, indeed. Fun indeed. I mean, I'm here for the break in between. It was a lot to take in.
Oh yeah. Honestly.
And I saw the first episode of Jupiter.
He doesn't know what to think of it.
I don't like the outfits. I think they're cheesy.
Really? Okay.
I thought the acting was okay. So I thought the person that plays the daughter, I thought she was great.
Oh, the one
she did
that
a really
was,
good job.
Yep.
The son was kind of, I wasn't there for me. I didn't give a crap about him. I actually wanted him to like get his butt kicked half the time. I liked the villain in like the lady that can like pretty much turn into a Power Ranger or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought she was dope. The dad. Okay, what bothered me was the fighting. The fighting in the episode was it was horrendous. It looked like they were going through rough drafts of choreography. It was very slow. It just everything looked bad.
I mean, listen, it didn't we're talking about Jupiter Ascending right now to begin, because one of the big pieces of news that came out this week. I mean, I watched the whole, I guess you can call it series now. It was one season. But, I watched the whole thing when it came out last month, and I was invested getting to the end of it. The first episode, I could definitely see where you're coming from on that one. But Netflix gave it the good old 1 season that it's known for. Sometimes they give it 2, and then they put the kibosh on it. So,
I mean, it's no Witcher.
Oh, no. I mean, Witcher's a whole different monster, which I can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, but like, they took something that's nothing, one that has a huge backing, right? Something that's very risky, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
And Jupiter Ascending, I'm gonna be honest, the marketing was non-existent.
It came out of nowhere.
Showed up one day as an ad, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
The acting could have been better. The storyline was extremely cheesy. I mean, I don't want to say cheesy, cliche. I guess you could say very cliche.
Yeah.
It was like a really bad live action Invincible to me. It had all the parts, the dad-son relationship was horrible. The daughter just didn't give a crap about anything. And the mom, the whole fight scene in episode 1 with the fake, whatever his name is, it was just,
oh yeah,
it was horrible. It looked like, honestly, I hate to say it, it kind of looked like a DC film.
It hurts.
I hate to say it, but you know the choreography in a lot of DC, and besides like Dark Knight and stuff.
A side note, I'm sorry. Huge shout out to Technique for those of you who didn't see this past week on it was Twitch Gaming, correct?
Yeah.
Twitch Gaming. The man, the myth, the legend next to us got to sit down and talk to Zack Snyder for an awesome interview about Army. It is new Netflix movie, that came out with Batista and all them. And if you haven't had a chance, I think you could still go back and watch the VOD on it. It was absolutely incredible. The discussion you had with him, dude, from me to you, kudos to it. And that's awesome that Twitch was able to get him on there and just talk. I can't wait to see what else you guys got planned over there.
Yeah, I mean, talking to him, I mean, I love the guy now. Like, he's very down to earth. I understand why he makes films the way he does now, because he just wants to have fun. And like sometimes it's hard to believe that in like directors because they hold so many hats. But he literally just wants to have fun. He was just talking about how fun it would be to do this and like think outside the box and do that, you know. And I think that's really important, honestly, in the business of film, because the directors I had were all like sticklers about everything, you know. And he's very loose, and he just wants to bring something different to the table. And now I understand it, you know. So it's not like I'm gonna go back and watch Justice League again, but at the end of the day, like when I know that Snyder's making a film, I'll look at it in that nature, because I mean 300 was freaking fantastic.
300 was awesome.
It looked like it was done on a stage, yes, but it was about the feeling behind it.
I mean, I liked his Watchmen too. I mean, I know it was very much a literal,
Watchmen,
very literal adaptation, right? But you see a Zack Snyder film, you almost kind of know what you're getting into based on just everything he does, and it was seeing the interview and hearing some of the questions and the way he answered it, it was very nice seeing that side of him. Obviously, he's gone through a lot of stuff recently, and getting to know him a little bit more in that space, the way you guys talked to him was fantastic.
Yeah, we could have talked to him for another 2 hours if we wanted to, because like the guy he's like I said, he's very fun, he's very open, he's not stuck up at all. He's just another dude that just loves film and video games. I mean, God, I wish more directors were like that, and maybe they are, maybe they are. Well, anyway, moving on, we're gonna move into the first topic of the day, and we're gonna spend some time on Loki, because Loki is a very underrated character, honestly, and he wasn't really rated anything much to a lot of people until MCU take out, and that's gonna be the theme, right? That's gonna be like the thing of comics in general, comic movies, and pretty much the MCU in general. You're gonna run into characters that you never thought about before, and so the Loki origin in the Marvel comic universe, we're gonna talk about his powers, his mental state, what it means to the premises of the creation of the MCU Loki versus the comic book Loki.
Yeah, and I mean, when you said it before too, Loki's a very interesting character and very underrated. I think we even talked about it last week with a little bit with Iron Man. Thor, I don't think anyone at Marvel at the beginning could have imagined, at least on the movie side of this thing, to see Thor and Loki being this big, because they were very much not, even though they were tier 1 characters, they weren't like really being tier 1 characters in comic books. And the way that it got on screen, and the way they blew up, obviously, to where we are today, especially with Ragnarok, and now obviously Loki having his own TV series. It's very incredible to see, because if you read the comic books 10 years ago, 12 years ago, it's like, really, they're gonna do this stuff with Thor and Loki? It's quite crazy.
Yep, it is definitely I mean, I don't know. I say Thor was pretty up there. I think Thor had his fan base, because people love Norse mythology and period. So just the name Thor rings, and then like Marvel Comics is Marvel Comics, and even though we talk about Spider-Man and Iron Man and all them like that, I mean, I think Thor was on the same popularity as Iron Man, honestly. Before the Iron Man movie, I think MCU just places it in millions of people's faces, and then you fall in love or don't like them. So Loki is a fictional character appearing in American comic books, published by Marvel Comics. Okay, so created by Stan Lee and scripter Larry. I like to call his name. And Jack Kirby. You see, Jack Kirby's. I mean, these are all legends.
Stan and Jack are
3.
Yeah.
The version of the character first appeared in Venus #6 in 1949.
Oof.
August.
Oof.
That's how old comics are, peeps. The modern day reincarnation of Loki first appeared in A Journey of Mystery 85 in 1962. A character which is based off a Norse deity of the same name, is the Asgardian god of mischief, is adopted son of Odin and brother of superhero Thor. Loki has been portrayed as both a supervillain and an anti-hero. Character is most often strictly depicted as a male, but has occasionally been depicted as gender fluid, which means it can go back and forth between male or female, and or has no gender at all that's dedicated. Because Loki is not as what we call a human god, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
He's alien at the end of the day.
Which is crazy. I mean, going further, Loki has appeared in several ongoing series, obviously, whether it be limited or regular. He also had a crazy 4-issue series called Loki in 2004 and 2006. He was the main character of Journey into Mystery, which was issue 622 to 645. This is all everything that you look up. So when we talk about comic books and wanting to dive into something and seeing the origin of different characters, or diving into different series that we would recommend, these are all things that you can definitely look into, because if you like what's happened in the movies or what will be happening on the TV show next week, this is where it all came from. He also appeared in new issues of the Young Avengers as early as 2013, and he received an early series, a solo series appearing in Loki, Agent of Asgard. Then again, Vote Loki in 2016 and Loki in 2019. So a whole lot of Loki there. And obviously you can find him anywhere. I mean, he was teased at in Marvel Avengers, just happened to be wearing it today, the video game. I mean, obviously he's in movies, he's in comics books, he's merchandised out there for toys and collectibles as well. You can find Loki everywhere, and that's just, how big the character has grown over the past decade plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And if you notice those dates hover around Avengers movies heavily. And that's pretty much an ode to the actors. People love, I forgot, Tom Hiddleston.
Hiddleston,
yeah. People love him. To the fact where he says he can't go anywhere without people asking him to portray Loki. I think that's a compliment, at the end of the day. I mean, it might get sickening, sitting there having dinner and people want you to pop a Tesseract at you, but
so actually that reminds me, I remember, the TV show Graham Norton, the Graham Norton TV show. So it's a BBC One show. When I think Avengers came out, it was shortly after, talking about his fan base. Like, this story keeps on popping in my head because it's the funniest one, and every time I watch it, you could find the clip out on the internet. Loki's fan base and Tom Hiddleston's fan base is so huge that he gets fan art. And there's one particular scene of fan art that for some reason his fans like to go to, and that just happens to be there's a part in Avengers where he puts down the Tesseract stick, pole, whatever you want to call it, and he does this kind of like twirl around it to do a kick. They take it as Loki knows to twirl on a pole. Take it as you may. And they have some crazy fan art of Tom Hiddleston's Loki essentially strip dancing on a pole. And it is some of the funniest things out there. He sees it for the first time. He's cracking up. Like, he loves it. He's probably a little bit like, but he loves it too. So yeah, we know fans really like characters they see.
Yep. Like I said, it's ode to the actors. Thor is definitely bigger because of Chris Hemsworth. I mean, Iron Man is obviously ginormous because of Robert Downey Jr., to the point where people don't want to see anybody else in those roles.
Yeah.
Like, when those characters get taken out of the MCU, nobody wants them to come back with somebody else different. I think Hugh Jackman was kind of on that line, but people really don't care about X-Men as much as they care about Avengers because X-Men was poorly executed.
But they care about Wolverine. Like, I don't care about Jean Grey. I don't care about... I do like Patrick Stewart's and Xavier, but with James McAvoy playing him in X-Men First Class. I was
First
like,
Class.
okay, it kind of works. Like, I like it. You could definitely do something else with that character. Same thing with Cyclops and Nightcrawler. But for me, it's going to be very hard to see someone else's Wolverine specifically. But that's
I say yes
just
and
me.
no.
Yeah.
I think Hugh Jackman was a great Wolverine actor-wise.
Yeah.
I don't think he was perfect for the role. I think he was a fantastic Logan. Logan. But as a Wolverine, it's all about the writing and how you depict it, and I think they did a poopy job. I mean, it's Fox, for God's sakes. I mean, they don't know what to do half the time. But I think X-Men was a gimme name. It's like gimme. You know, I will make money off this name alone. No, the reason why people don't give a crap about Storm and Rogue and all these other characters is because they didn't spend time on those characters. They had
Jubilee.
They tried to stick 40 people in a film together, like huge stars, and these stars are, you know, the thing about having, like, I'd say big name main screen like stars is that they are big because they have a lot of screen time, and you can't throw them in a movie with like a bunch of other ginormous names without some kind of presence.
Is that why you think they can do these series with Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki and WandaVision, and not with Iron Man or like Chris Evans Captain America?
Wait, say that again.
So like you said, oh my God, what did you say? Chat, what did he say?
Having all of them on the screen at one time without
like you're having them all like. Is there a reason why you think, this may be a little bit off topic, but is there a reason why you think certain characters and actors, let's say, can be portrayed on TV like they're doing with Loki, and it's not Chris Hemsworth Thor? Is it more of the actor or is it more of the character?
I think it's more of the actor at the end of the day. You're not going to give a whole series to somebody that's like a C, you know, that hasn't made a name for themselves,
or an AAA plus like a Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man.
Right. Well, no, you give Robert Downey Jr. a series, but that series better. I mean, he's just expensive. You know, at the end of the day, you're not going to hire Robert Downey Jr. to do a mini series of like, I don't know, 10 episodes for a season, because it's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Lord knows how much it costs him to do a movie. That's 2 hours. I mean, granted, a movie takes years sometimes to pull off, especially something as big as Avengers. But he's going to cost every single day, you know, like a lot of money, to where people had to take cuts for the movies just to keep him in the MCU. And when you're a megalith star like that that's been in the MCU for 10 years and you pretty much set the groundworks for the MCU to get taken off, I mean, you do what you want to do at the end of the day, and you pay what everyone you want to pay. I mean, if they decided to bring Robert Downey Jr. back, people would flood the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's a trump card. I hate that word.
I know. I got you.
I think he's a mega card to play. Like, you know, you put him up your sleeve. If MCU is doing bad, you bring back Robert Downey Jr. You bring back Chris Evans. You do a multiverse, you bring them back, you're good to go. Like, that's where I feel like it's at. I think they're in good hands. I think the visual passing of the torch to Tom Holland, I think those are big pants to fill, but I think he could do it.
Man, that scene still going back to Far From Home, when he's in that jet crying, and then you just see Happy staring at him while he's making his suit. That was some good scenes. Even though it wasn't the passing of the torch then, it was definitely beforehand. That was it was seeing that though, and the way he felt, that was really cool in that movie.
Right. So I'm very curious to see. It's going to be hard to have an Avengers period. The Avengers is not over, and I think that's the feeling we've gotten. We've gotten the feeling that the Avengers are over. It really didn't end.
Well, I think that's where
there's a lot of question marks. They left it open, right?
Yeah, no, they did.
And it was so smart.
And I think that's where you're gonna, and this goes a little bit forward into what we're talking about when we talk about the Loki series, but when you look at WandaVision, that kind of opened up the door a little bit, right? That kind of opened up the door a little bit to the multiverse at the end because of chaos magic.
But is there an Avengers, right? So we have to, like, we don't know. I mean, S.H.I.E.L.D. is in shambles. It's pretty much owned by Hydra, as it is in the comics.
Well, isn't S.H.I.E.L.D. dismantled and now it's all Sword with Nick Fury in space? As far as I believe it ended. There
We
is
hope.
no more.
So it depends on what route they're taking, because in the comics, even Nick Fury is dirty in the comics. And,
Really?
yeah, because he says that nobody's pot's clean. At the
Okay.
end of the day, he had to do,
I'm
sort of
low-key
stuff.
hyped
And
for Loki. I hate you.
Sword and Shield
Casual.
were all really ran by Hydra. It's all infected. And
Yeah.
and it was compromised. And then, Nick Fury finally found out, because he was left out of the loop, that it was compromised. But the funny thing is, Agent Carter is a big role to play in that. And we kind of saw a little glimpse
Yup.
of what happens at the end of Falcon Winter Soldier. So this is interesting. Anyway, this is supposed to be about Loki.
Well, yeah,
We
Madam.
got a little off on
Madam
the
Hydra,
tangent,
yeah.
but the whole thing was about Avengers and actors and how they
Mhm.
make things big. And Loki
This
is
is
ginormous now, because Tom is a fantastic Loki, to the point where we can't see anybody else in that role. Period. I can't see anybody else in Thor's role, Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever. But the fact that we're no longer gonna have a Drax after this next Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know how I feel about that.
That's
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the other part of it too. Outside of being written off or dying or time traveled off like Cap and Robert Downey Jr., then you have to think about actors being like, I'm just old in the tooth for this. Like, my body's, I'm going to be 50. I didn't realize how old, like we were talking about last week, I didn't realize how old Dave Bautista was. Like the guy's a
52
beast
years old.
for 52, but by the time it comes out and if they have to start shit, he could be 55. Like, I get that.
Yeah, he said he's gonna be 54 when it comes out. So now we know when it's coming out.
So yeah, there you go.
But yeah, he said he's gonna be
crazy.
54 when it comes out, and I can't, body dysphoria. I think I said that right. I don't even know.
Yeah, where you stare at yourself and you're never happy with yourself. That's me.
That's real. That's a part of aging, man. Things start to sag. Skin gets loose, and I feel him on that. But this man's 52 years old. Like, a couple weeks ago, watching him jump on top of a table and shoot some stuff and body slam people left and right, I was like, damn, dude, I'm down for it. Like,
I would have to watch that this weekend. Actually,
also, he's Asian. He's good. He's he has a fountain of youth. Logan says the next chapter of Avengers. Yep. And Casual Gamer says I'm low key hyped.
Yeah,
I'm low key hyped for Loki. I saw what you did there.
That hurt.
That hurt. Yep. Miniseries shows, how they turn out. I think they're gonna turn out great. I really miss Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes, and I definitely miss him as Iron Man. I cried.
Oh yeah,
because I knew what it meant. I was pissed. But back to where we're going back with Loki. Loki had tons of appearances, especially in the 2 years of the 2000s. From 2004 all the way up. He's been in multiple things. He's been everywhere, from Young Avengers to Wiccan to Spider-Man to, Defenders, which is another version of the Avengers. There's so many Avengers, by the way. He's been there. But anyway, let's get into the grease monkey of it all, and that's who is Loki in the MCU? We can go back and forth, Matt, on this. Loki is Thor's brother at the end of the day, adopted, by Odin. And doesn't know that he's adopted until he finds out by going on his mission that him and Thor were supposed to go on, and wasn't supposed to be. Well, I won't say it's a mission they're supposed to go on, but Loki found out the hard way, and that he wasn't like everybody else. Which
movie was that again? For some reason,
it's
I don't. Was it
2?
It was Dark World, right? Where he goes to the Frost Giants.
Yeah.
I think at one point, yeah. So yeah, I knew it wasn't in the first one. I forgot. Yeah. Those were his people, and then
stolen baby.
Yeah.
And out of love, it wasn't. Okay, so they portrayed it as pity. Odin is not a great person. Let's just be real. He's an asshole. But Loki was more of a son to Odin than Thor was, because Loki followed Odin, to hell and back, so to speak, and Thor was always that renegade kid.
Yeah.
So
I think when when you go back to Dark World, as much as I wasn't a fan of that movie, there is definitely pieces of it, and to understand the arc of Loki onto Avengers and then past Avengers as well, to where we got to see him at the beginning of Endgame. and actually where we are today with him, which we'll start seeing on Wednesday when the show premieres, you know, there's some stark differences between them, and where he came from, realizing that he wasn't the actual son or physical son of Odin, and his father kind of, or you know, Odin took him from his actual rightful place of where he could be on a throne and with his family, and kind of crazy. I mean, it wasn't a bad thing that Odin did, but obviously it wasn't, you know, watching it, a good thing either.
Well, I mean, I think it was a good thing that he was taken away. I mean, those,
Oh, yeah.
they were savages, and they were planning stuff that, you know, normal people to get bored with their own planet was planning. But I think the biggest underlying thing of Loki, and the reason why he is the way he is that he always followed the code. There was a code, right? He followed it to the T. He loved his dad. He felt loved back, but he was always in the shadow of Thor. It was always about Thor. Thor was going to take the throne. Loki was like, well, I deserve it. I'm more mature than he is, which he was. He was more of a strategist. He followed Odin, like to the T, and Thor was just like, I want to travel and do this, that, and the other, and I want to run. I can't wait to be king, to run things my way, and you know. So no matter how hard Loki went to prove himself, he was always in the shadow of Thor.
Yeah. And
when he found out that he could have had a throne and been, you know, who he is, that pissed him off. He's like, why take me from something if I was meant to be something? And that was the whole arc of where Loki came from, is like, he was meant to be something. He could have been something more, but here he is sitting in the shadow of somebody that don't deserve it. And so he took it matter into his own hands. And that's where we get Loki, you know, with the Tesseract and the start of the MCU. So anything, I mean, if you really want to say it, the MCU kind of exists besides Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man because of Loki. Like literally every story arc branches back to Loki. He's got a mischief. He created mischief for every episode or every movie of Avengers besides, I would say besides Black Panther, but no, it actually led into Black Panther with Civil War. Yeah. So yeah, Loki played a role in everything. He's the one that had Thanos. You know, he's the whole reason why Thanos even existed in the MCU at the end of the day. So, I think he's a major player. And that leads us to, why is he a major player in MCU? You know, so, so we kind of already answered that. So I guess it's for me and Matt and you, you know, audience. Is Loki bad or good or bad? Or is he that infinite gray in between?
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
I mean, it's interesting because if you follow the story for him, I think at the end of the day, when he goes up against Thanos at the end, right, in Endgame, speaking just strategically about the MCU here right now, I think he ended up being good. I think during majority of his story arc, though, even in Ragnarok, he was that gray area. He was trying to do the right thing, but at the same time, he was there for himself, even if it kind of led to some bad little stuff here or there. So it's kind of hard to define, right? Are we talking about the Loki at the end of Endgame, or are we talking about the Loki that we're going to see next week?
I say overall.
Overall, I think this goes back to the conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago. Like, if we were a superhero, would we just be good? I think we would be gray. Because it's kind of hard to say to be that truth, justice, in the American way like Superman all the time. There's going to be stuff out there. I think very much Loki is that great character. I think to a point, he gets good, and then it's the God of Mischief really comes in. What about you?
I think the defining someone as bad is a little bit more complex. I think he's maturing throughout the MCU, and I think he would do what we would do. You know, if we really want something really bad and we see that our older brother gets everything and we just get hand-me-downs, but we're doing more work than they do, I think we would all have a fit. I think he just had a fit. You know, in his grown-up age, he still felt like a child. They kept referencing the childhood of Thor and Loki in that movie, going back and forth, and it was just kind of playing a role of saying, hey, Loki and Thor may have grown up, but they're still the same as they were when they were children or when they were young adults. where Thor was just going around smashing up stuff. Thor smash, he's kind of like the whole. And Loki was just like, "Are you stupid? This is not what we do. This is not how we handle things. We should be, being better about this." I think his motivations are very justified.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he got himself into trouble searching for power, and the only way out was to convince, people in the cosmos that he can make things happen.
Yeah.
He's indeed a god. I think he's always proving himself, and he's getting himself in bad situations.
I mean,
and
even
being that type of
even in Thor Ragnarok, then, right? When he comes up with the ship, he's like, "Your savior is here." It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, so it's like, he just wants to be noticed, and he goes about things the wrong way, and he can't tell people his in game, quote unquote, and unfortunately sometimes you have to play the bad guy before you're the good guy, and our definition of bad and good is very gray area. The Avengers can be looked at as bad. I mean, they kill people all the time, but nobody looks at it, and but they started making that apparent. But they kill innocent people all the time with how much destruction that happens around them.
Yeah.
Even if they don't even do it themselves, but the fact that they're being targeted in New York City. New York City's been through so many reconstructions is ridiculous,
Alien invasions, reconstructions, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about Spider-Man, and he almost killed a whole boat of people, in Homecoming. So it's down with that. Let's see. DC is better. Okay. Superman would kill Captain Americans. Okay, he's one of those guys. All right, anyway. All right, so the next question is Loki dead? And you guys can weigh in on this as well, chat, so don't be afraid.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. What do you think?
Yeah. I say no. Obviously not. I don't believe Loki's dead, even though we saw that horrific scene of him and Thanos saying this time he won't come back. It's Loki. Like, he doesn't. There's so many. Loki has quote unquote died so many times in comic books, and that's just how it is. What do you think?
It's an interesting one, right? I think the Loki at the end of Endgame, I think he's dead. I think they're pulling a Gamora. I really do think they're pulling a Gamora with this one. I think that they're going to utilize the time travel and the TVA, which is a whole nother discussion point, and utilize that to bring him back, because they're really focusing on how the timeline needs to be safe. Now, could he be the ultimate trickster? Right? And even though Thanos said, "You're not coming back from this one," or something similar to that line, it's still hard for me to believe. This is the fun thing with talking about movies and comic books. The only thing that's dead in comics is death, because you could bring back anybody at some point. Mm-hmm. Could they, with the success of Loki and it getting another second season, forward thinking wise, could they somehow bring him back in the future? Maybe, but for the main timeline, like Endgame and beyond, it's very hard for me to believe that they would they would bring him back, unless it's the craziest like a mirror magician trick of all time. Which he is the god of mischief. He absolutely could.
He died right in front of Thor's hands, like a few movies back. So it's like. My thing is that
that wasn't Endgame, excuse me, that was Infinity War. I'm sorry, I keep on saying Endgame. It was the beginning of
Thanos said a lot.
Excuse me.
Thanos said a lot.
Also true.
Also, people thought that the blip couldn't be reversed. There's the thing about comic books in general is that they set these plots for a reason. In comic books, you're always asking questions. In movies, you're always asking questions.
Yeah.
Everything in a movie, and I hate having this superpower. I always say I have a superpower of premonition and like predicting what happens. I hate it because I always ruin things for myself, and I'm normally right. But when it comes down to it, is that they set us up for stuff all the time in movies, and it's always a pattern. Loki has died twice in the movies, and the last time he died, Thor thought he was absolutely dead. We thought he was absolutely dead. I mean, granted, you know, we were like, oh, it's too early for Loki to die. I mean, some people were just like, you know, it's not going to happen. But the way they set it up, we were like, oh, yeah, Loki's done. But he's back, you know. He's a god. That's another thing everyone has to, like, completely. Thor was thrown into space.
He survived.
After having a ship blow up on him. Okay, I just want to make sure that Thanos just, quote unquote, broke Loki's neck. But Thor was blown up in a ship, lost an eye, floating out in space where he should have been a crystal, and just got revived from people hovering over him in a ship. Okay, so I'm just saying.
There's causality. There's causality also, to see him be alive. I definitely get where you're coming from that, especially using the point of
he's an alien.
Yeah,
we don't know about the race. So we there's so many things. Also, Loki's probably made deals with somebody in the cosmos. We don't know.
I mean,
we'll find out hopefully in the series, but I'm pretty sure he made deals with people. You think Loki's just going around handing people Tesseract for the good, you know, for fun? Nah, he's making deals. He probably has like workings to where if he died, he can come back. He's probably got ways to travel the multiverse, which we'll see, which is a definite, because I mean that's the whole setup. But yeah, I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead. But anyway.
Yeah, I like your justification there. I mean, I guess I was trying to be too literal with it. But I like how you're definitely taking the approach on it, especially using Chris Hemsworth, Thor, as an example for that, because that's actually I didn't think of that, because he was blown up, he was in space, no oxygen, and this man somehow survived and came back stronger than ever because he wanted redemption, right? So he could be doing the ultimate magic trick with mirrors, smoke and mirrors, right? And he could come back, or he did get his neck snapped, but now that they're bringing the Eternals into the mix of the MCU, you still have the Celestials, which started everything, that we still are going to be tapping into. Who knows what type of deals he made, because the original deal for it all was back in Avengers that he made with Thanos to get him all of them and say you have Earth to conquer and get it. So you're absolutely right. There could be the main timeline version of Loki could still be alive. Still hard for me to believe, but I can see your theory crafting as to how.
Yeah, my thing is this, and I'm reading chat, guys. Toast my goats, and
I'm reading it through with Sean and Brave and Totes.
My thing is this: Loki never puts himself in a position that he can't get out of. That's just Loki, because he's selfish, as he should be. Loki literally just walked in front of Thanos and said the dumbest shit ever and got his neck snapped. It was like I'm doing everything to save you, Thor. You know, like type thing. But it all seemed like an act to me, because this is Loki. Who in the right mind would know that this dude has Infinity Gauntlet and just walk up casually to him like he did in the movie? Like, it was such a, it was so not Loki. And I understand the dramatic scene of like a brotherly love, blah blah blah, but that doesn't make any sense. Like,
they've played that off
he just
before
walks
too.
up to this powerful dude that he knows is power. He's been dealing with Thanos since the beginning. We have to be very conscious of this. And you're not just gonna walk up to Thanos and think that you're gonna stick him in the neck and in the hope that you save the day. It's not. I think Loki needed an out, and he wanted to have an out as a goodly brother to Thor. And that was his way of just getting the hell out of there. You know, because the old Loki would just disappear. He'd been like, I'm out, dude. Peace. Like, you know, like he would have just teleported out or whatever the heck he was doing before. So there's definitely something there. And I don't think they would give him a whole show based on him just being dead in the main timeline, because that doesn't make sense to me. It's like a whole series. Granted, it's going to fill in gaps throughout time of what happened to Loki and where he was, but honestly, who gives it? People like Loki, but they don't care about that stuff. Like, honestly, they want to know what's up with Loki now. So I think we're gonna get our answers when it comes down to it. and it's got to have a huge cliffhanger at the end, just like every one that we've seen so far. I mean, with WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier. There's always these thick endings that's gonna lead to the movies, which is going to lead into those big trailers that were announced for the movies.
Yeah.
And they're all going to just tie into each other. I think we're going through a Iron Man period where you just see these individuals like kind of grow and you love them, and then they put them all together, because Marvel's really good about doing that. They don't just throw a whole bunch of brand new people into a movie together and say, hey, let's play ball, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Anyway, how does the MCU Loki?
They have to, to your point, they have to reimagine what they're doing right now, because they've had this 12-year, creation period to build this thing. They just brought it to the end with Endgame, and now how are they going to revitalize an audience? Not revitalize, but how are they going to bring audiences back without doing the same thing? And now they have another medium with TV shows or digital series, right? And you can't do the same script over again. You can't have another Thanos. You can't have another Ultron. They got to figure out a different way to do it. And I think that's where we're getting into Doctor Strange and Love and Thunder and leading up to what was the end of the trailer, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Fantastic Four really being, I think, the catalyst for this whole full next phase. But yeah.
We don't know which Fantastic Four we're getting, which is
also
awesome.
true.
I hope we get the older Fantastic
The first
Four
family
that's been around.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get an origin story, because my lord, I don't want it.
Seen it twice now.
Do we get the story with Franklin? Do we get the kid that can control time and space? What are we getting? I'm very interested in it, and the fact that it's taken so long, and I believe Franklin was even mentioned at some point, very, very small, because Marvel likes to sprinkle stuff for fans.
Yeah,
normal people watching a movie would never ever get, but they sprinkle little bits, like the kid in Iron Man 2 was supposed to be Peter Parker. Yeah.
But
and the other kid from Iron Man 3, was it 3? Yeah.
3 was the one
Iron
where
Man
he
3.
crash landed, right? He didn't have a suit. Yeah. And he was at the funeral scene.
Yeah,
and
that
apparently
kid
he's
is
going
going
to
play
be
a
dealing with
role in Young Avengers for sure.
Yeah.
Or Avengers, whatever they have come out. But I forgot who he was supposed to be. I knew the name, I just completely lost it. But anyway, they did all these setups. They do all these little setups, and those are called what we call possible setups, right? They cannot happen and nobody cares. They can happen and people will be like, oh wow, Easter egg, and pick it out. I guess Loki we can do this really quick. MCU Loki compared to the Marvel comic Loki, they're pretty hand in hand, honestly. I think Tom definitely did his research. I think the comic book Loki, excuse me, is a little bit more evil, evil intent. They kind of, because comic books are very black and white, especially ones that were made in 1949. They make a clear good and a clear bad guy.
Yep.
They always do it. It's always superhero go after the bad guys, like cops and robbers. But now, the area is very gray, because now you ask what is bad and what is good. So you ready for the trailer?
Yeah.
All right, so if you guys haven't seen the trailer, we're going to show you the trailer.
This one. There we go. Got it.
All right, let me know when you press play.
Yeah, I got the audio muted just in case, but pressing play now.
Okay. And
there it goes. Yeah, so for those of you who don't notice, this is the trailer for Loki. This came out a little while ago. Ready? Chat's ready.
Yep, that's old Loki. So you see the Tesseract.
Yeah, so if you go back, this is supposed to be right at the end and right at the beginning of the show, what we're thinking. So this is the Tesseract. This is him figuring out what the hell is going to be happening in this series.
Okay, so he's in some kind of prison, quote unquote, but this is not a normal prison, and he's thrown around in time. So look, you got to pay attention. Look at all these old technology that's around. So we don't know if this is when back in early Chris Evans days, not Chris Evans, Lord, Steve Rogers days. We don't know. We don't know what timeline this is, but it looks like it's old Shield to me.
Wait, which trailer are you watching? Oh, the one I posted, right?
The one that I posted. Yeah, it's the same one.
Okay, no, I just didn't know. I keep on pausing it here and there. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're pausing it. So
yeah, I'm going to pause. I'm at 27 seconds, and I'll just let it play through. I'm sorry. See,
Oh yeah,
professional
27 seconds.
chat.
I'm at like a minute. We do a rewind afterwards.
Okay.
Just wanted to show them the
And pressing play now. Then you got obviously that character there, not Matthew McConaughey, Owen Wilson, doing something with Loki. I believe Owen Wilson's character is it's called Morbius, if I remember correctly. That's the character that he's going to be playing. Which there's some cool little tidbits between him and Tom as to how the character came about and his preparation for it. Cool Marvel Studios, smile.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like you see all the old equipment and stuff. It's like I wonder if this is like old Shield or something like that. But everything is kind of weird in this. This could be something that was alternately made as well. Through the power of the Infinity Stone. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff because what's going on is it's like he's been working for these people. Like he was a prisoner to these people, and he has to work. Taking us back to Agent of Asgard. I mean, they might have taken that storyline and just flipped it.
Well, the one thing I love
he's going through time. These people might be something dealing with the cosmics. These people. That's what I was saying. Like this could be like the Agents of Asgard type thing, and you see the different timelines that he's going through. So it's very interesting. They're being very careful about how they show this because they're just throwing major things here and there with us. So yeah, that looked like the maybe the destruction of Asgard. Who knows?
Yeah, I think one of the cool things I keep on talking about in these trailers, and they keep on pushing through, is that he's a variant. That it all has to do with the timeline. Yeah. That's why, like on the back of his shirt, like this isn't the normal timeline version of Loki. This is the variant because he shouldn't be existing right now. And the place that he's in, what you keep on seeing with these, I think he even says it in the trailer, these lizard-looking people. That's called the TVA, the Time Variance Authority. This kind of is a place that exists outside of time and outside of space and reality. And that's why at one point in the trailer, I think we'll be seeing it here in a second, you see a linear line very similar to the way the Ancient One showed Bruce Banner and Mark Ruffalo in Endgame, I think it was, and the variants coming off of it. Loki...
The possibilities.
Yeah, Loki is absolutely set up the craziness to when he's caught being outside of the major timeline. Yep.
I think he's the quote unquote perfect agent of time in this instance. And he is like Timekeeper's Log. Yeah, exactly. Like he is the one that can probably fix the timeline, because also this could mean when the Avengers went back to fix things, they probably screwed shit up, and maybe and then and Loki's probably going to the various timelines of what could happen, what could be, and he's probably have to set some things in motion. We don't know.
Yeah, that's actually
there you go. The time branch, right?
Yeah,
there.
That's a great point, right? Because what the Time Variance Authority is doing with Loki, that even I keep on calling him Matthew McConaughey, and I know it's not him. Owen Wilson says at like one point in the trailers, we know what happens at the beginning of the time, we know what happens at the end of time, so we have to make sure everything is going across. That's where these variances, these little forks in the roads are happening. They got to delete those to keep the time stream straight. So the crazy thing is, because you brought up it's clearly the Loki that you're seeing in here is a variant, and it's causing all these bad things to happen. So throughout time, Captain America all along, to keep the main time stream intact, was supposed to go back in time and stay and live out his life as Peggy Carter. That's the interesting piece of this, and I don't know if anyone's talking about. Though? Well, yeah, because if he went back in time and he didn't jump back to that point and give the shield to Anthony Mackie, right? Like, they should technically do the same series with Captain America, with Chris Evans' Captain America. He was.
I think that was more of a selfish thing, dude.
But if this time this TVA is all about keeping the main time stream clean. All along,
as I said before,
it was about for him to go back in time, which is wild to think about.
Yeah, like I said before, movies are very cut and dry. They set us up for stuff like this. Like we technically know the answers. It's just we only get confirmations with shows, right? In movies. So it's like
he had to close.
Maybe maybe Loki died all those times. Yeah. Maybe he did actually die, but he keeps getting pulled back here. You know, maybe it's a trial and error with Loki. It's like, all right, I tried this shit didn't work. I tried this didn't work. I tried that, this didn't work. And he comes back, and every time while Loki is doing this, because he's obviously held captive to do this, he's probably trying to make little edits here and there to be selfish.
Because why wouldn't think about this? This is the Loki at the end of Avengers, who is still very much the bad guy, not that gray and good guy, like you said. But as Lalgil says, he had to close the time loop. Doesn't he create a new time loop by staying back in time?
I mean, you create time loops every time you go and affect another time loop, you know? And that's why Doctor Strange exists, is to be a guardian of fate, you know?
Yeah.
And like all his people, which God, I cannot wait. I miss Doctor Strange. I miss that world.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that's why, but we have to always look at the gods of, you know, or I call them gods, but the gods of chaos and stuff like that, like the ones that understand time looping and who want to, or understand time travel in general and multiverse, and want to just destroy all multiverses.
And it's you know, it's interesting that they're using the TVA for this, right? And the main leader of this, I forget her name. She is the love interest through time of Kang the Conqueror. And, you know, he's going to be the main protagonist in Ant-Man and Wasp, the Quantum Realm. And I mean, and for me, I think you too, right? Like, he's a big bad, like Ultron and like Thanos. So like, how is he going to come out of, like, are we going to get peaks of him in this? Or because there's a season 2 after the Quantum Realm, are they going to bring it back? Like this, I think this Loki series is a lot bigger to the MCU than I think any of us can imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Loki is a big, like literally a huge player in the MCU. I mean, he, like I said, he's the reason why things took place in the MCU the way they did and the way it ended. Also, we have to think about the Captain Marvels.
Yeah.
You know, we have to think about that, because it's like, all right, at the end of WandaVision, Rhonda, right? Rhonda.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm drawing
Rhonda.
I'm drawing a blank.
If I'm wrong, just correct me. I mean, that whole part of like, we have to go, we have to talk, we have a meeting, you know, we got to go, things are happening.
Yeah.
And who actually came and got her? I mean, that's gonna be interesting.
Skrull.
It's gonna be very interesting, and I really hope that they nail it on that, because they really didn't nail it. In the
Monica
Rambeau. Captain Marvel.
Monica Rambeau.
Monica. Yeah, I think maybe Ronda's her real name. I think
we're mixing Wanda with WandaVision and Monica. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the actress' name is Ronda. I don't know. That name just popped up in my head. Yeah, Monica, who's extremely powerful, by the way. So I can't wait to see what they go with that. But anyway, yeah, Tesseract was a big component. Where does that come into play? I mean, Tesseract started everything. How did he get the Tesseract? How did the Tesseract get planted in the first place? We know that the Tesseract was in old, you know, Steve Rogers Captain America days. They held it in their quote unquote little shield, you know, vault. But how did it get placed there in the first place? Maybe Loki did it. Loki is a god. It's not like he was a baby when these people were babies, you know. We don't know
like
where Loki grew up in the timeline, because he's a god. He aged differently.
Yep.
But he's probably around for thousands of years. I mean, I hope they answer these questions, or don't answer those questions, and really set it up for something bigger later on. But I'm very, very, very happy to see Loki back, and what that means.
And the way they're showing it, right? They're very much talking like they're gonna show. I think even in this trailer at some point too, they show him. I think from Ragnarok. There's a piece somewhere in this trailer where you see like a hologram come up between. Wow, right there. So that's obviously him going back in time. It's showing the variances. He caused the variance.
Yeah, but I think,
and then I think they're gonna show, I think, this Loki, the Loki he turned into, and then while they're closing these loops, it's gonna be weighing on him to try to get there. Like we're gonna see a unique. And by the way, it's not June 11th. It's June 9th, chat. This is like one of the first trailers. So obviously it changed.
I think in that scene it's probably like he's like, where the hell am I and why am I here, or something like that. And they're like, hey, this is all the shit you caused. Let's review it. You know, like let's review all the stuff you caused and why we're here. You know.
Who do you think is going to be the main?
Maybe in the beginning Loki thought he was dead and he got teleported there. You know, like maybe that was it. Maybe he thought he got his neck snapped by Thanos, and when he blacked out, so to speak, and came to his senses, he was here. You know, I mean that I'm excited, dude. I'm like getting excited to think about where they fit this in. TBG says, question: how much of Norse mythology does Loki and Thor stick to for the movies and comics? Pretty much just to set up the word Asgard, the names. There's really no Norse mythology at all. I would say, well, at least not in this comic branch. I mean, not in this MCU, but in the comics, there is a more true Norse mythology Thor comic by Marvel, or comics by Marvel. But the ones that we've gotten are literally just the names at the end of the day. They really don't fit anything at all. I mean, they have the look. I mean, there's a Bifrost, there's Heimdall, you know, there's Odin, he has a spear. Death. You know, there's certain things like Thor has a hammer, Loki has daggers. You know, those things line up, but I wouldn't say it's kind of like the skeleton, very, very loose skeleton, and they just kind of fleshed it around, you know, the MCU. But the comic book version of Thor that is Norse, very, very Norse driven. He has tattoos all over his arms. You know, he has like the traditional Thor eagle helmet. And you know, he looks like pretty much a Viking at the end of the day, which is a pretty cool series if you want to read it. I would have to get the name for you, but it's out there. You could like literally put Norse mythology, Thor, Marvel comic or whatever, and come up with that.
Yeah, I think you felt more of that Norse mythology at the beginning, like Thor, the original movie, a little bit of the dark world, but they've kind of made these characters and kind of figured out what they wanted to do with them, so they kind of steered more away from it. I mean, outside of him being the god of thunder, right, and being Asgard, and now Asgard's any place because there is no more Asgard because of Ragnarok. They've definitely taken away from that, I would say, and now it's just more of they're just quote unquote gods, or at least being portrayed on stream, in the MCU. Yep. So yeah, that's and you know, fortunate and unfortunate. I mean, I think that's a good thing about comics. There's alternate timelines. So, as much as I hate having so many parallel universes in comics, it works through that. Okay, so upcoming shows in the timeline for MCU. We're gonna go over these trailers real quick, and there's multiple trailers that we've seen. It was a heartwarming message given by Mr. Stanley himself. All right, let me know when you're ready. Yeah, that's actually one thing that I wanted to bring up too, though. Where was it? Brave. Many episodes of Loki are written by. Oh, why is that playing? Many episodes of Loki are written by, funny enough, the creators or writers of Rick and Morty. So when they talk about time travel and going insane, if you ever watch Rick and Morty, I mean, there's going to be a lot of that in this, which I think is going to be really cool and very interesting. And because, I mean, that's a show that I love, and what they do with the Council of Ricks, which is kind of could be like the Council of Lokis maybe at one point. That could be really fun. All right, I'm going to hit play and not pause it. In 3, 2, 1,
go.
Yeah, this is that heartwarming trailer that came out sometime in May that really shows us where we've been and trying to get us back to the movies, of course, to where we're going to be as well with the big end with the 4. But obviously we got a bunch of hugging it out. What you've been waiting for, seeing Doctor Strange again.
This is the heart tug, right?
Yeah,
so you heart tug people to bring them back. It's been a long time since we've been back in the movies. You know, there's a pandemic going on. There's the TV shows here. So right now we're trying to reestablish the relationship between viewer and creators, so to speak. saying like, hey, we've been doing this for
right
over
here.
10 years, everybody. Like, these have been some good movies, you know, heartfelt. Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah,
hard
I think it's perfect timing too, because they just came through 2, you know, setups for the future. They had some downtime, and they're going to be ramping up, which you'll see at the end of this. So like it was, and these are just the movies. These aren't even the TV shows. So they're like, all right, prepare, because officially starting July, like we're back. And they had to do this to get us to remember where we came from, which is, oh, dude, I can watch this. The people filming it with the crowd reaction, I can watch this over and over again. Cap on your
like
left.
every theater.
That, I'm
I feel
getting
like every theater
goosebumps
had to
right
go
now
through this.
just thinking of that. It's incredible.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this. You know, that goes a long way, because that was the first time he actually said Avengers or something.
Yep.
Like we've been waiting for him to say it for movies. He's always teased it. He's always like, Avengers. Let's go.
Yeah,
you know, something like that.
Come
He's
on.
never said a symbol. So this is slap, and they're just like, all right, guys, remember all this good stuff? Yeah, we're not done. Marvel Studios is still here, and then they slap us in the face with like, boom, Widow. Goddamn, hurry up with that. God, for
I love that. I love that Taskmaster with the Cap shield pop up. That's so cool.
I hope they don't just one-off Taskmaster. I'm gonna be really upset if they do. He's just too big of a character.
Yeah, I mean that goes back to what I've been saying, like with Ultron, right? Like I really hope they take these bad guys and Shang-Chi, yeah. The action off of this trailer itself, which really had a chance to get through, looks really, really fun and
I
inspiring.
can't freaking wait. It's about damn time, in my opinion. Eternals is very interesting, and we'll talk about the Eternals trailer next as well. You know, down the road, because are we doing it today or? Yep. Oh, okay, we're doing it today. That Eternals trailer is very interesting. Spider-Man,
which we should be getting a trailer in the next couple of weeks, by the way. Love and Thunder.
These are all in order. I don't know if they're doing it in order though. I wonder if they're actually going to be doing it in order, so we don't get all mixed up and stuff.
Well, based on the dates that they put at the bottom, as far as the movies go, these are the order that they're coming out, unless.
Well, I mean, like the order that we watch them, like for timeline sakes.
Oh, timeline.
It may not
sakes.
be.
Yeah,
I think a lot of these happen simultaneous. Yeah.
So you had the movies. So
super excited. Super excited. There was some drama with Shang-Chi. You can read about it.
I just came out.
They believe that the directors and the writers just didn't listen to them. You know, because who knows Asian culture better than Asian people? You know, but unfortunately, those directors and writers did not listen to them, and then he put a very big. He wrote a very long message on Facebook, which I know he was afraid to do in the first place, because a lot of people don't. I mean, this is your work. I mean, this is
your job.
You have to talk to, and honestly, he was like, "Screw it! You know, the shooting is over. We had a lot of fun, but I really wish they would have just listened to us." And it picked up a lot of traction. So don't be surprised if it gets delayed. I honestly think they may reshoot some things. Because that message got such a huge backing. I'm almost sure that, you know, the delays by Marvel are not, I mean, they happen dime a dozen right now. I believe they're probably gonna delay Shang-Chi, and because the reviews have to go through, right? Like we have to have the actual reviews go through. It has to go through main editing and finalization editing and stuff. I believe they're probably going to reshoot some things.
Because I mean, as of right now,
based off of what that feedback was.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, it's September. I mean, look what they did with Black Widow, and Black Widow was done for a very, very long time. I mean, this movie was supposed to come out last year, and it was just sitting and waiting. So, I mean,
we still don't know why.
Well, presumably it was based on contracts, because it was supposed to be in the movies, and it was all just contractual with Scarlett Johansson, and all financial, because it wasn't movie driven, it was digital driven. So what was her compensation, or what was not just her, excuse me, what were the actors' compensations from what I remember reading around the interwebs. So I mean, this is a lot bigger than money, in my opinion. So I mean, if they got to push it, they got to push it. I mean, to do right after seeing that post, even though he was so happy to get it out there. I mean, he literally tweeted when they put the trailer out, just gibberish like on a keyboard. But obviously there was other things that we didn't know about going on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is the first time we've seen so many Asian American, or even Asian in general, in an American movie have the forefront that's not about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you know, stuff like that. This is like actual big American comic, huge billionaire type movie deals going on right now, or $1 billion movie deals going on, and they're just happy to have a space. And I think the outpour of people being happy, it was the same thing with Black Panther. You know, it was the first time we've seen so many, you know, people of color all on one screen. That's driven by a person. See, the difference between Black Panther and Shang-Chi is Black Panther was directed by Ryan Coogler, who, I mean, is very much known for doing very cultured movies. And that's why that movie was super successful.
So actually, I just wanted to bring this up, just to make sure we weren't messing this up. He was not talking about Shang-Chi. He was talking about Kim's Convenience. It just says,
sure?
Yes, 100%. I thought I knew what we were talking about here, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't about Shang-Chi. It was about Kim's Convenience. Are
you reading that post that I gave you?
Yeah, it's just 100% Kim's Convenience. The reason why it's ending, it's the reason at the end of the 5th season.
Wait. Let me see something.
Yeah, the only thing that they're saying about it is that he's the upcoming actor in Shang-Chi and being the main character. And I just did a quick Google as well, too. I wanted to triple check.
Okay. I was about to say, all right.
Yeah, I wanted to triple check that.
Well, my bad on that, then.
Oh, yeah, we don't need an ad for Optimum. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a very confusing post because... Yeah, that was a very confusing post how they posted it because they brought up Shang-Chi so much. And then, well, even in the talk, he was talking about Shang-Chi. So maybe they did Shang-Chi right. And he was, maybe I got it wrong because he brought up, I see Kim's Convenience.
Yeah, because the director and the director, the full cast, and the writers of Shang-Chi are all of Asian. Yeah.
Okay,
Asian
that's
descent or
what
something
I
like
thought.
that.
So I was like, why the fuck? You know, I was like really like confused at that at first. But when he was talking about it, he was talking like how he was so happy to be on Shang-Chi and this, that, and the other, and that, and the other. And I was just like, okay, so why is he bringing this up with this? You know, all right, so now it makes sense. He was happy about Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And Kim's Convenience was the one that was approved.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that was my bad.
Exactly.
Okay, I misread that or misheard it because I was listening to his talk that he gave, and it almost, and I was like, okay, he's speaking very highly of Shang-Chi, but so I was thinking like maybe he's just happy that he had a chance to be on there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because it's very much
good.
like
that makes me happy because I was like telling myself that, man, Marvel's normally really good about making like decisions
look at Black
on
Panther, like you were saying.
Yeah, like the rest, like Ryan Coogler, yeah. Because I was like, that blows my mind that they didn't do the same for Shang-Chi, but that's great that they did. And then sad, yeah, I see that they ended Kim's Convenience, you know, early in this, that, and the other, and reason why they did it.
So okay, back to then check mark exactly TBG and WoW. You know, you have to think about timeline for the MCU, like you were saying, like when we go and watch these movies in the theaters, specifically talking about movies, not TV shows. What is the timeline going to be? I mean, we already know that Black Widow is going to be a prequel because currently, as we see it, she's dead in the MCU. So we
know exactly when this is. So this is in between. Back. This is right after Civil War. Yeah. When she left, presumably we saw that she left. Right. It was like that tick between her and Bruce Banner, and then she dipped, and then Bruce Banner dipped. So it was like during that time.
Yep, and then
and she had, her hair was normal.
Yeah, her hair was normal and red. And for the Black Widow, we know. You know, this is supposed to be the literal passing of the torch in some instances to the other actress in here. I can't think of her name and her name and her character to give it to her. She looks like a badass in here. Like I'm super excited to kick ass
about her.
And obviously you have the Red Guardian. I love the actor, Stranger Things, the whole 9 yards, and the way he's like getting beat up, and he's like the Russian version of a super soldier. And then to your point, I hope at the end, like they did with Baron von Zemo, they take Taskmaster to the raft, and they can utilize them for the Thunderbolts eventually, and just don't kill him off because Taskmaster is a dope character. But
yeah, Simo's supposed to lead a group of people, so I hope that's how it goes, and I hope that all leads up to Doom, because that's what I want to see.
So Shang-Chi, do you think this is? I mean, presumably this is going to be all post. Is he going to be the first one that is going to be after the blip? Yeah. Do you think that's going to be the first one?
I think the blip timeline is being overdone, so I would hope this is after everything comes back to normal, quote unquote normal. And I mean, the 10 Rings and the story behind that stuff is very interesting. So I mean, we don't know. Everything's dealing with time now, man. I hope it's after. I'm kind of sick of the blip already and kind of done with it, honestly. I want to move on, and I want them to get on to the next huge bad, because Marvel owes us a villain that doesn't get one episode or one movie, or, you know, like, they really owe us that. We really need a big bad person that is going to take a while. I mean, Thanos was great. I mean, granted, he was 2 movies, you know, in the movie universe, that's good, but, you know, having Ultron be done in an hour, 2 hours and 30 minutes is kind of like meh to me. So I really hope that this is after the blip.
So you got that day after the blip. Then you're gonna get the Eternals movie. So far it's every 2 months.
Eternals is definitely after the blip.
Well, it's before,
or like during, like
and
all
after.
of it.
Yeah,
it's all of it. Right.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
They have a very interesting thing, because Eternals was around since, quote unquote, the beginning of whatever time on Earth, I guess you could say. Like, I guess the Eternals is kind of acting like the aliens that were depicted in you know, Egypt, so to speak. You know, they come down and give technology and teach people the way, not really give technology, but teach people the way of living and stuff, and don't interfere with their drama and wars and stuff. But now Eternals are like, yeah, it's time to interfere. You've been screwed up, man.
Which,
like,
in the trailer, they got a very interesting, end sentence, we'll call it. So, but you're gonna get a little bit of before. Obviously, you're gonna get their backstory, because no one knows who they are. Obviously, they're not the Celestials, but they're the Eternals. So they're like right there in the hierarchy. I mean, a lot of people know, well, you know, Thor and Odin and them know about them based on timing and everything, but no one knows where they are or what they're doing. So you're going to get the understanding of who they are and what they're doing leading into quote unquote present day MCU. So you got July, then you got September with Shang-Chi, then you got November with the Eternals, and then you got what essentially is going to be the run again. You got in December, which is No Way Home. So it goes 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 1 month, which we should be getting. I don't know if you keep on seeing it in the next week or two, or by the end of June, we should see the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, which will be nice.
Yeah. I just hope they don't do what they did with Far From Home. And God, get away from the home. Goddamn.
Well, it's the end of a trilogy, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
I like this one though. Like, Far From Home could have been changed, but I like No Way Home.
No, I like the movies. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I hope they just don't do what they did with Far From Home when it comes to the trailer. They completely spoiled everything.
Oh,
obviously.
Okay.
In the trailer, like, you know, and people were like, "Well, I guess everybody's all right," you know. You know, so it's just like, all right, well, now we know that, you know, without people seeing in game, like, that trailer came out, we knew that everything was good. Oh, Tom Holland's back! Yay! Well, you know, like, I guess we win, guys. I mean, granted, you win, you know, subconsciously. But it's just the fact of that they spoiled it in the trailer. People that didn't see Infinity, you know, War or anything didn't. They're like, oh, great, like, you know. So I hope they don't do that. I hope they be very vague about it.
Yeah, especially
if Tom Holland swinging through the city, and, you know, maybe some Zendaya here and there, and get cute with it, and then show like a oh my god moment, and then that's it. Cut it off. Be done. No more. You know. Like,
yeah, I agree. I agree, because if WandaVision kind of led to, oh, there's a multiverse, and now we're gonna get into what little tidbits here and there could be with Spider-Man, because obviously you have the multiverse and you got the Spider-Verse, two separate things but very similar. Right after that, 3 months later, the next movie is leading up to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So,
You know,
like, how
it's
crazy
funny.
are they going to get into that? Like, I like the storyline by itself of J. Jonah Jameson coming back, right? Like, not J.K. Rowling, J.K. Simmons, showing up at the end of Far From Home saying, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Like, I love that, and that being the main story arc of No Way Home, because how can Peter Parker not, like, Peter Parker can't go home now because he's Spider-Man. Like, how is he going to get out of that instead of this whole, he can't find his way home because he's stuck in a Spider-Verse. Like, I hope they don't jump the shark with that, like you're saying.
Yeah. The Spider-Verse is very complex. I do know that Madam Web is getting her own series or animated. It's either animated series. It's going to be part of the MCU. Like, it's very, very, very
Madam
way
Web,
out there.
insane.
I forgot what they call it. Something in the web, trapped in the web. Something dealing with it. But anyway, they really want to focus on Madam Web. And Madam Web deals with time, and she is a guardian of time. And I wonder how that is going to work out. Because the Spider-Verse is actually extremely important to Marvel in general.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. And the only reason why we call it the Spider-Verse, everybody, is because there's so many different Spider-Men, Spider-Women.
Yeah.
And it's a multiverse type thing. And we all know that Spider-Man screws up timelines left and right. Boy, does Peter Parker screw up a timeline. So
Yes, he does.
He travels time like anybody's business. So does Gwen. Gwen is the worst when it comes to time travel. She has a bracelet that can bounce her between timelines, and that's why Gwen Stacy shows up so many times. And it can go back to the original death of Gwen Stacy, you know, and all that stuff and how that works. And Peter Parker's a mental mess. So I'm very much interested in that. Sinister Six is still out there dangling, you know, in front of our faces.
Yeah, like what? I mean, at the end of the Mobius trailer that was out there months and months and months ago, you got Michael Keaton's Vulture saying "Sup, buddy," but on the walls of him coming out, it was Toby Mcguire's Spider-Man that you saw. It wasn't like the poster that was on the wall was actually Toby Mcguire's Spider-Man outfit from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, because they plan on doing something with Spider-Man. Sony, I don't know how that's gonna work. It's not Tom Holland. At the end of the day, because Tom Holland made a very, very bold statement and said that he's pretty much a Marvel Studio guy. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes down to like being an actor for Spider-Man, and I mean that was a very bold thing that he did, and it did help.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, when the negotiations went sour, I remember. I don't remember the exact quote, but yeah, he was very much like, we need this.
Yeah,
to
he
work
was very
with
much
Marvel.
against split away from Marvel Studios. I mean, and I think Sony knows that, and I think Sony, Marvel, and Disney are just pulling at our strings as well. I honestly believe that.
Well, look at Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, I just believe that there's some back end talks on things of like how we can all make money here, like versus like, you know. So
the president of Sony, I believe, recently had an interview, and he said, "Yeah, we're not getting into anything, but when it comes to Sinister Six and our plan for the, what does he call it? The Sony." It was like the Sony Cinematic Universe of Marvel's Spider-Man. It's this weird thing they call it. It's long. It's not the MCU. It's Sony Cinematic Universe for the Marvel movies or something like that. It's a completely different
universe where Venom exists.
We're like, that's what he said. He goes, Venom and Carnage will definitely lead you into how Spider-Man's universe is tied into the Venom universe and Carnage movies. And then he goes, when you see Spider-Man, you'll see how it all ties in with Sinister Six. But he also said, you know, me and Kevin Feige are best buds. So he's like, I don't think, I believe
it's going to be Marvel Studios driven at the end of the day.
Yeah, I really hope that's what happens because
it has to be.
It works.
They need to fix Venom.
Venom is not.
They got to fix it.
You see that trailer, and I'm with you, man. Like, I'm going to watch it because I want to see Venom and Carnage. But you see that, and then you see how they're playing off all these other characters. I mean, just look at Doctor Strange. Like, there's different ways of doing it, and I hope Sony can. Yeah. I'm not Sony. Marvel can figure it out with them.
And I believe that's where we're going to see the time travel, the multiverse of madness taking place. I mean, we might see Venom and Morbius if we're lucky, and all of them get pushed into MCU from Sony. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But there's so much. We have Kraven as well.
Yeah, that was just announced last week.
Kraven, was that a Sony announcement?
Yeah, so what they're doing is kind of similar to G.I. Joe Snake Eye, how it said like Snake Eye's G.I. Joe Origin movie. They're doing that with Kraven, and once again in that same interview they said, we didn't want to go back. We got Aaron Tyler Johnson, who was Quicksilver in the MCU, to play Kraven. Right. Not because of knowing what he did in the Marvel Universe, but because he was just doing another movie with Sony. And they're like, oh, we love this guy. We think it would be good with him.
I mean, also his character got the poop end of the stick.
Yeah.
I mean, very much so. I was very upset what they did with Quicksilver.
Yeah.
But, but that's how Quicksilver is portrayed in the comics as well. He's one of those people that just kind of show up and then go away. I mean, they I don't know. It might be a good thing that they just kind of pushed away from that, because I understand why they did what they did with Wanda and Pedro, because even in the comic books it's been a lie for so long that they were the son and daughter of Magneto. It's like it's been a lie for so long, and I mean, hell, I believed it up until recent, and I was just like, when I was reading comics, I was like, oh, okay, well, thanks Marvel. What did you do? We don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, I hope they fix Venom. I hope that Venom gets introduced correctly in the MCU, which I know the MCU would do very well with it, because they're damn good at doing stuff and casting. I don't think Tom Hardy is a good Eddie Brock. I just don't. But I mean, obviously they're probably going to keep. Well, Eddie Brock signed a three contract deal, I believe, when he signed on, because that's normally how Sony does their contracts for like especially stuff like this. They like doing trilogies so much. We'll see. I mean, they're getting better. I mean, that Venom is definitely better than the original. But I don't know. I just hope that they treat Spider-Man well, which they're going to. I mean, Spider-Man is the money maker at the end of the day. Let's be real. They're not going to screw up again. Having the fact of having
you
like
can't
the
reboot
thoughts and the
Spider-Man
rumors
again for the fourth time. I mean, well, fourth time.
What now?
You can't restart Spider-Man for the fourth time.
Oh no.
Like you need to.
People are attached to Tom Holland. They would lose their mind if somebody did it again. I'd just be like, I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I ain't supporting this. But the fact of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and all that stuff, the rumor of them coming back, or was a rumor, and I believe it was officially said that wasn't the case, but we don't know.
Well, there's a cool rumor out there for something else.
It's a cool rumor, but I don't want to see them again, bro.
Well,
how old is Tobey Maguire now?
Tobey Maguire's up there.
Late 40s.
Tobey Maguire's up there, and if you look at Andrew Garfield, he's getting up there too. But
Andrew Garfield's probably, I think he's like my age.
The cool rumor out there is that the Sinister Six is actually going to be based on the Spider-Verse, utilizing Alfred Molina's Doc Ock and even William Dafoe's Green Goblin coming back.
Well, they're definitely
so actually like the Sinister Six is going to be a tied-in version of every, and Jamie Foxx Electro. Yeah, because
I love him. I love you, Jamie Foxx. But my God, that character.
Yeah, but hopefully they fix it. Hopefully they fix it. Because Alfred Molina already spoiled like where I'm not going to go into it really, but Alfred Molina was already interviewed, and he spoiled at least how his character is tying into this movie. So like it's
and things can change, and sometimes Marvel plants stuff for people to say stuff.
Yeah, because Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland really spoiled a couple of things, right? Like he was pushed to do that. Like yeah.
He's not dumb. That's like us breaking NDA on stuff that we know we shouldn't be doing. Granted, I mean, I believe Tom Holland did spoil something by accident. His first time, because he was young and he was excited. I believe he did it because we got a kid that's coming from theater.
Yes.
Like going into some of the biggest movies of his whole entire career. And I understand saying certain things because fans are data miners. So if you say like, red and blue are my favorite colors. Oh, he's going with the original outfit.
Yep.
We got to find it. And then like people just kind of just know how to mine that stuff out with just by a few words if they're super fans. Just how it is. So I believe that, but I believe that it was such a good so it was so popular and went viral so much about Tom Holland that now that they're teasing it. Obviously, the last time that he was just like, yeah, this, that, and the other, and they interviewed him, that was fake. We all know that. It was just something to get us going. But yeah. But anyway, people love Tom Holland. They love him so much that he was trending on Twitter on his birthday, and they brought back his performance on what was that? LL Cool J and Zendaya.
Lip sync battles.
Lip sync battle, yeah, which is one of the most famous viral videos on the internet.
God,
I mean, so
they
love that kid, man. So he's great. He's great. I can't wait. And funny enough, we did a talk about Nathan Drake and how he was very uncomfortable playing that role and didn't want to really do it.
Yeah,
so money talks. And he needs more stuff for his resume, honestly.
Another video game movie adaptation.
Yeah, another video game movie. Yeah.
I'm more excited for The Last of Us on HBO than that.
Yeah, I think Nolan North, right? That's the person.
Nolan North is the voice actor, yeah.
Yeah, Nathan Drake, man, all the way. Let's go.
But then, yeah, you got Thor: Love and Thunder, which if you didn't see the photo on set of him and Taika Waititi, I'm butchering his name. Dude, Chris Hemsworth's arms are bigger than me. He's freaking got massive for this role.
I don't even think it's about being massive. I think it's about him being super cut.
Oh, well, yeah, that too, yeah. Like
he is sculpted. I saw the work. I saw his whole, because I am lucky enough to be friends with Bobby Dazzler,
yeah.
And I saw their workouts and like what they were doing, and even Bobby Dazzler had to get bigger, which is funny. Because I was like, bro,
Bobby's
what are you doing, dog? Like, what are you taking right now? And he has to overwork himself to get on Chris Hemsworth's level, because Chris is he's just a massive dude. Like, he's just a big boy in general. He's like super tall, you know. He's whatever. And then Bobby Dazzler was meeting him word for word. Sometimes Bobby Dazzler was bigger than Chris, and sometimes Chris was bigger than him. You know, you can see the differences. But now, the whole point of them was cutting down and getting super sculpted, and their trainer, who's funny because their trainer is like 5'7", and you know, like,
nowhere
that
close.
guy's working him. Yeah.
So that comes out in May. So then you got a little bit of a breakdown or a little bit of a pause. Then you got Thor: Love and Thunder in May. Then you got Wakanda Forever. We got the official title for that coming out in July. Which,
how they presented it. Look how they presented it.
Yeah,
they gave Wakanda Forever a little bit. I mean, they gave Black Panther a little bit more screen time than everybody else.
Yep, it fades in, it hits,
font,
it holds.
Huge.
Yep.
It's huge. Look at that. Ooh.
So shiny, and it's got the vibranium feel to it.
That made me, I teared up, man. I freaking teared up because
I mean,
that movie means
Forever.
everything to me. That series means everything to me. I mean, being close to Chadwick Boseman, and, you know, his family living hours away from us, you know, it's just that death, they slapped me harder than it should have, I feel like. But you know, I hope everything goes well. They're not replacing Chadwick Boseman's legacy. We know that. Shuri might be taking over, more than likely, and I'm down for it. I'm just really interested in what that even. And then the fact that it's called Wakanda Forever, we know that's an ode.
That's definitely an ode to him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then you got this one, which no one really saw coming. The Marvels. Now, is this Captain Marvel 2? Are they pushing Captain Marvel back, or is this actually Captain Marvel 2 just renamed to the Marvels? Because I love that they're doing this, because there wasn't just one Captain Marvel. There was many.
I know the answer to this.
Ooh.
And I'm kind of not really happy with it.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you were going to say
I can say it. I can say it. I'm just not happy about it.
Yeah.
That's every Marvel. That's Miss Marvel and 2 Captain Marvels.
Yeah, because so that's assuming
Kamala Khan is in this.
Oh, yeah, that's another series. That is another series that... Oh,
is it?
Well, no, it is. It is, actually. It is.
But when is it coming? So is it coming before the Marvels or after the Marvels? Probably after the Marvels.
Like releasing or in the timeline? Yeah. No, it's actually coming out this year. So this is just movies that we've been talking about.
It's just movies and not the TV shows.
So you have
are those still... They pushed back all those TV series.
No.
I wonder when.
No, so Loki is in June next week. Yeah. What If was officially announced for August, and then it wasn't officially announced, but it's either September or October is when Miss Marvel is going to be releasing.
Probably not. What comes out in September?
Shang-Chi.
Spider-Man. No,
Shang-Chi
and then Spider-Man comes out in December.
And November is Eternals.
Yeah.
So it's most likely October. They didn't set an actual release date to it, but they did say that it is 100% coming out in 2021.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, well,
because then this one,
I don't go off of those 100%.
November next year.
Yeah, I don't really go off of anything with anything they say. Yeah, okay, so that's in 2022. So yeah, Miss Marvel has to happen before that to introduce her to put in a movie, because Marvel doesn't do things backwards. So yeah, okay. I mean, this Marvel Studios doesn't do anything backwards. They will always introduce a character before throwing them in there. Yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp. Okay.
Then you got Ant-Man and Wasp shortly thereafter, dealing with the quantum realm, calling Quantum Mania. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that was the big one. Everyone tried to figure out where it was, so it's not 2022. It's 2023. So we got 3 years of movies, essentially, looking at it. And then the big one with no date, which is obviously Fantastic Four. I mean, assuming this, what is it? This was, when was this?
Didn't they put a date? Oh, they didn't put it.
So this was,
but it was said it was 2024.
Yeah, so if that's May 2023,
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, you would assume that it was either going to be the late 2023 slate of movies, so either July or September or November when they come out with Marvel movies, or it's going to be the start for 2024. But it's weird, though.
I'm thinking March.
Yeah, but it's weird, though. Then you're not going to have any movies or known of any movies in 2023.
You fill them up with TV shows. What you do is you introduce something really big and bad, and then you build up the hype for Fantastic Four taking over the mantle for Avengers when it comes to screen time. I think that's what they're gonna do, and because the Avengers is not, we still got Captain America, we still got all these things. Right? Captain America is a movie that was announced with Anthony Mackie, right? We don't know when the hell that's coming out.
Oh, here, you know what? This is what I was looking for. So earlier this week, Marvel did push back 2 movies. It's still weird that they're showing this here. It's still weird that they're showing this here without a title, but the Untitled movie that was set to premiere on October 7th, 2022 has now been pushed back a full year to October 6th, 2023. So we didn't get anything October in here. That's why whatever this was pushed, which leads me to believe it's actually Blade. I don't think it's Fantastic Four. I think it's actually Blade. And then a movie that was supposed to release in November 23 was pushed back a week to November 10th. So we are supposed to get in 2023, which is after this. So May 5th, 2023, there are 2 movies set that don't have any titles as of yet. One for October and one for November. So I would say that one of them is Blade. This you're probably not going to see until 2024, like you said. Fantastic 100%. Four. But then what's the other 2023 movie? God, it's so crazy to think about.
I'm trying to think. There was... Could be another Spider-Man movie.
Could be.
For all we know.
Yeah, because I mean that's 2021. No. Stick with 2 years. It could be 2023.
Didn't he signed a 6-year deal, a 6-movie deal?
And he's already been with this new one 5,
Civil War,
6 movies, depending on how you take Infinity
Civil War,
and Endgame.
Homecoming, Far From Home, Infinity Wars. Yeah, this is a 6. So this is a 6th movie coming up. So I wonder if they're gonna renew it. They have to.
Yeah.
They haven't even. I mean, Sinister 6. They gotta renew it. Unless they're gonna bring a new Spider-Man. I'm done with them at that. If they do that, I'm done. Tom Holland's perfect. Don't take him out. But yeah, 2024 Fantastic Four. It makes sense. The date is 24 and 4. I mean,
yeah.
And then the way they did the 4 is pretty much an Avengers symbol.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, you see the A.
It just makes so much sense. This is our replacement. Fantastic Four will be, and it's funny because Spider-Man has to do with Fantastic Four too. I mean, all the characters, Fantastic Four is a bubble that branches out to everybody's universe at the end of the day. And if you really want to get stanky with it, Franklin, the son of Richard, is in the comic books today, and I want to say years back. I say today, but as in a modern day, he's a huge part of why. He's a big boy. He can completely create realities. So it's very interesting where we're going, and I really hope that they introduce the Cosmics, Molecule Man.
Yeah.
I really hope they really go with that. The Watchers, they need to integrate. I mean, they showed the Watchers, for God's sakes. I mean, what the hell was that about? I really don't feel like they just throw things in movies just to just have them there. I mean, Thanos was part of that. We got Thanos, but what about the Watchers?
Well, I mean, What If is going to be narrated by the Watcher, right? Obviously, now that is cartoons, and they're going to make that their own universe. But if you're utilizing that, and it's going to be on Disney Plus, and it's supposed to still work within the MCU,
it's part of the MCU.
You know, the Watchers are going to have a bigger play somewhere down the line within the movie versions.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, they don't set things up just to set them up. So it's like all the original cast voiced by the actors.
Yes,
I know Chris Evans, Chadwick Boseman is definitely voicing. I don't know about. I'm pretty sure Scarlett Johansson.
Robert Downey Jr. I think is supposed to. That was supposed to be his last thing.
I think it's the original. I think it's that right. Chris Hemsworth.
And then the actress who plays Peggy Carter. Her name is Haley Atwell. No, that's the Paramore lead singer. I forget her real name, but she's also playing. Coming back in as Peggy. I wonder if
she's going to cut her hair at any point.
Yeah.
To fit the comic book, she's a badass, man. I love her. I love what they're doing with Agent Carter. And she's crooked. I even love that too. But Blade. Yeah, we haven't seen anything on Blade.
Yeah, because
nothing.
With it coming in, if it is the October or November release next year, how do you pronounce his name? The actor Ali.
Mashallah Ali.
Mashallah Ali. Thank you. I mean, he's been getting booked up left and right. So.
Oh, that guy is.
Yeah, he's hot.
He's hot cakes right now.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of those
things. The dude that won the
Grammy
that was in Get Out in Black Panther. Help me out, Lawgill. What's his name? Oh my God.
Wait, say that again.
He won a Grammy, and he was in
Black Panther.
He was a part of the Jamari tribe. He was the leader of them. He was the one that was siding with
Common? No,
not
Common wasn't in Black Panther.
He was siding with
Common was in John Wick.
Killmonger.
Oh,
he's in Get Out. He's the main character in Get Out.
Yeah. God.
Hold on.
Film.
I keep his name is so simple, and I just keep getting him crossed up with someone else. Daniel Kaluuya. That's his name.
Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for too. Marvel Studios is set to begin production on Blade late 2021. So that could be the October or November release. That's what it was, because they kept on pushing it back because Mashallah Ali is just getting booked up insanely right now.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Daniel.
I was just looking for those dates.
Both of those gentlemen, who's both a part of the MCU now, they are getting work left and right, and making history.
But I like that. I kind of like that, how you're getting like the old guard this year and next year, and then come the end of 2023, you're going to be getting the new guard after May, right? You get a little bit of the Eternals and Shang-Chi now, but at the end of 2023, if you get Fantastic Four, the new guard, if you get Blade, the new guard, and you know they're working with other characters as well that they're trying to bring to film too, that's actually kind of exciting that you're really going to get that next phase. I know it's 2 years from now, but you really get to see these new things then.
The question is, you don't bring on an actor as big as Ali and not give him a trilogy.
Oh yeah, he's not.
You don't bring him on for one movie. So I'm really hoping that they do a Blade trilogy. And rumor is, and I'm pretty sure it's not a rumor, but Wesley Snipes has a big part to do with the movie. And it's not being him being Blade, it's him being a mentor to Ali.
That would be cool.
On like what he's done and stuff. So the fact that Ali is a humble actor who goes to let's be real. I don't care what you say. Wesley Snipes is a freaking king. Okay, when it comes to film and martial arts in general, because he's a martial artist. Yep. Dude. I'm so pumped for Blade. So pumped. I love seeing the collab of a legend to another legend. An old school legend to a mainstream legend. It's gonna be so good. I'm really excited about that. I just love it. That's like Chadwick Boseman going to Denzel Washington. Like Denzel Washington was his mentor, and so is Angela Bassett. I mean, these are legends, dude. And I really want Denzel Washington in MCU. I'm being really like selfish, but my God,
we gotta actually do that one week. Like our favorite actors, who would they play in the MCU, DC,
Denzel
or
has
something
to
like
be
that?
a villain, bro.
Oh, hell, dude,
has to be
take
a
him
mastermind
from Training
villain.
Day and the way like he does everything. Oh my God, he'd be a perfect villain. Perfect villain.
He'd be so dope. So dope. I get all candid-eyed because of it, because I'm like, man, that dude can act in anything. Anyway, all right, we're running out of time, guys.
Yes,
we're going a little later than we wanted to. We're gonna go through. That's the last one, right? Yeah.
We were gonna go through Eternals, but we kind of talked about Eternals already.
Oh yeah,
as well.
yeah. We'll bring up Eternals again. Next.
We could. I mean,
still got a show. We still got a show between. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of which, everybody, to get you hyped for it, with GCX. When is it? The 17th?
GCX starts on the 17th. So as a heads up, we will have a episode, obviously today, next week, but during the process, when I think I'm just covering your face right now because of calendar, smile, the June 19th episode, me and Frank will talk. Maybe we'll figure out something like a VOD or something like that. But as of right now, as far as the 19th at 2 p.m., there will be no show because that's going to be right in the middle of a GCX and what the team over at Rare Drop are doing over there.
I mean, it will be a show. It'll just be earlier.
We're doing something.
That Saturday, it'll be that Thursday. Yeah.
Smile.
Right? Thursday?
We're working with something on them. I don't think anything has been officially announced yet, but obviously GCX is doing a bunch of cool stuff with going to the space and moon. So once we're able to talk about it, just we got something really, 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 really cool planned.
Yeah. Yep. But there will be something. So that's I just don't want you to be like, there ain't gonna be nothing here, so we're not gonna show up. There will be something, so just keep your eyes open. There'll be announcements being made and stuff like that, and I will be reminding everybody on all my social medias about it as well. I will say this. Whatever we have planned, you don't want to miss it.
Yes, exactly.
At all.
You do not want to miss it. It's going to be one of the coolest things we've done, and I think it's also going to be leading up into future things that we've been talking about for a while to do. So, you see that childish grin? Do that again. A childish grin on this man's face. You see that right there? It's that
Thanks,
good.
CBG.
It's that good.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Algil. Yeah, guys. So we're gonna end really quick. We're gonna go through some Loki outfits, and we're gonna pick the best Loki outfits, the best renditions of Loki. It's not gonna be all of them, but it's the ones that we picked out.
Yeah. So obviously, throughout time and throughout comics, Loki has had a lot of different versions of himself, whether it's been young, whether it's been old school, whether it's this Harry Potter looking version of him. Obviously, female Loki is a very beloved character.
Yes, huge. She's actually really. I'm actually surprised they didn't make Loki a female in MCU.
Yeah, well, there's in the trailer you see a female version of her somewhere out there. How is she going to be played, and how is she going to be shown off? Is she the main villain? Is the old school Loki that you see in the comic books the villain? I mean, we're going to get a lot of cool different ones. I mean,
I love that.
Yeah,
you see that?
Yeah.
You guys know what I mean? He's gender fluid. So that's what we mean by that. There's really no gender to just 100% place on him, them,
it, whomever,
So,
whatever. I mean, as far as
he's definitely grown in popularity.
As far as I go, like I like this one you see right over there, the one right before the female Loki. It's just it's that powerful presence that he has a look of. It's kind of an old school meets new school vibe to it. I'm very much a fan of that one, but
this is completely movie rendered.
Yeah.
Taken, just like, Tony Stark. Yeah. So yeah, I like I like the female Loki a lot because she's essentially what's her name? The Queen of Blades.
It's such a different take. That's what I think is really
it's
cool,
like the Queen of Blades that was in Ragnarok.
Yep.
I forgot her name.
Helena. The goddess of death.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a depiction of her, like almost and she was such a amazing. Oh my god, I still can't get over the performance that was done to depict Helena. But anyway, I mean, she made that movie. But yeah, Loki's cool. Can't wait.
Helena, not Helena. Thank you.
Helena, yeah. So everybody, that's pretty much the end of our show.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, concerns, and comments, please feel free to put those, voice those out. You can leave questions in my Discord or Nightwing Plays.
Nightwing.
Is it Nightwing?
Hello? What?
Nighthawk.
In my,
I keep wanting to call you Nightwing Blaze. I don't know why.
I mean, well, I mean that's where the origin's from. I was a big fan of Nightwing as well as Superman. But yeah, you could pop on. You know, obviously you see here our @ symbols. That's for our Twitters at least. I know mine is the same throughout on Facebook, on Twitter as well. Obviously, we stream daily on Twitch. If you want to pop in, we talk about a whole bunch of different things. We play a whole bunch of different games. Right now, Technique and I are getting sweaty. Though not together, we are getting as sweaty in Knockout City. I'm actually going back. I'm actually having surgery this week on myself, so I'm kind of going to be taking it easy, and I've wanted to go back because I never had a chance to stream it. I'm going to be playing Injustice 2 and going through that story and that campaign, so I'm actually going back and playing that. And also, I mean, if you're advanced video games, I know Frank as well, there's going to be a whole lot outside of Loki next week, which that is your homework, chat, because we'll be talking about it next Saturday, same time, same place, same hands and faces.
Yeah, please watch Loki.
Please watch Loki Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday before we go live. We're going to be talking about it, but starting Wednesday, funny enough, outside of Loki, there's going to be a lot of video game announcements. These next 2-3 weeks. Summerfest, Bethesda, I mean, Nintendo, E3, GCX, of course. We're going to be getting a lot of cool stuff out there, and I'm sure there's going to be things that we're going to be talking about as far as, I mean, Square Enix already said to be on the lookout for more Marvel's Avengers information. We're doing something else, Marvel, and Gearbox said, you know, I don't know if it's going to be E3, but it has been officially sent out there that the creators of XCOM are working on something turn-based Marvel related. So we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. The mobile future by Marvel Future Fight, I think it's called, or whatever it's called, looks really, really cool. So we got a lot of cool things to talk about next week and beyond.
Marvel Mobile makes so much money. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous. I want to say it's probably their most successful stuff is on mobile devices. Yep. There's a lot of stuff. I'm not saying anything about Avengers. I'm not gonna say that. Be excited. I'm excited. And yeah, guys, that's it for episode 5 of the Commix. Like you said, you can find me everywhere as Technique on Twitch, and everywhere else is Technique TV because somebody has my name. But other than that, thanks so much everyone for being here, and we hope to see you next week Saturday because we're gonna be talking about Loki, and you better watch it because if not, then watch the VOD of this whenever you do watch it. And if you're listening to the podcast, listen to this after you watch Loki. Or not this, but the next week's episode, I should say. And again, as a big correction on my part, my bad, I misread or mislistened. Shang-Chi is good. They did have all the people that they wanted to have, the directors and actors and stuff, which I thought was there because, like I said, I'm pretty much in the Marvel universe pretty heavily, and I know that Marvel typically makes smart decisions. And it was about Kim's convenience, which is still a sad thing to happen, but at least they got what they were due in Shang-Chi. So I just want to make that a very big call out that, we do make errors sometime, or things are just reported stupidly, which it was reported stupidly.
Yep.
Anyway, have a good day, guys, and we'll see you next week on The Mix, and peace out.
Enjoy, boys and girls.
Bye.